What is up, everyone? My name is Jack Southall, back again with a Raw review. Of course, this is the January 18th, 2016 episode of Raw. And, yeah, man, this was a hard Raw to fucking sit through, dude. Like, it was... I'm trying to find how to describe it. It was dull, man. For a way to hype up Royal Rumble, this was pathetic, dude. Like, they could have done so much better in order to get me invested into the Royal Rumble. And I'm not going to say that the Royal Rumble pay-per-view is going to be shit, because if WWE has taught us anything, it's that the build-up might be crap, but the show can be good. Take WrestleMania 31, for example. The build-up to that show was dreadful, but they ended up pulling a fantastic show out of their ass. So we're going to take time. It's going to be interesting to see what WWE can pull out of their ass for Royal Rumble. I'm praying to the gods that they don't fuck it up like they do in the last 2 years, but I don't think the WWE would fuck it up. I think there's a really good chance that this show will be very good. So, yeah, let's get straight into it. By the way, we are coming at you live from Columbus, Ohio tonight. And, we paid tribute to Martin Luther King Jr. Day, some absolute legend for what he did for African Americans. So he had a dream, and that dream is sort of coming true. It's getting there, but so thank you, Martin Luther King Jr., for everything that you've done. So anyway, we got into Raw. Roman Reigns cuts a promo to start us off, and very dull. Jericho comes out and tries to make it a lot better, but it's just not doing anything for me, unfortunately. And then League of Nations come out and they talk a lot of shit. And Jericho pretty much makes a match between Roman Reigns and Rusev. And they play up the whole thing how Roman Reigns eliminated Rusev in order to win the Royal Rumble. And that's how it sets up. And Chris Jericho will be the special guest referee. And that was our opening match for this show. And it was very dull. Just wasn't invested that much. During the end of the match, all of the League of Nations guys tried to interfere, and Jericho told him to get out, and he does a bloody cartwheel, which I thought was actually quite funny. Tell them to, get out of here. And so, yeah, I thought that was nice. But Roman Reigns ends up hitting the Superman punch on Rusev and beats him in that match. And then Jericho is smiling. He walks back to the hallway, and then Stephanie stops him and says, "You had no right to make that match. It's not 1999 anymore. It's not Raw as Jericho." And then Jericho's like, "Oh, it used to be so much fun when I used to call you a filthy, dirty, disgusting, brutal, bottom-feeding trash bag." And then Stephanie stops there because she can't say ho in a PG era. And pretty much said that she knows where he's going. It's very original, and that she's mad that he had to change the advertised highlight reel and has to pay Lesnar more money to do it because she doesn't want to get involved with Paul Heyman. And if anything else changes on the show again, he'll never, ever be the same again, and pisses off. Then we get to our Total Divas promotional match, Brie Bella versus Natalya. Alicia was on Brie's side, and Paige, who I guess is not injured anymore. I think she was out for a little bit. I think it was just a minor injury, and was in Natty's corner, who turns face for some reason. This was a nothing match. Natalya won 2 minutes. It was quite shit for the time that they had allocated, and this was pretty much a match just to build up Total Divas, which I'll not be watching because fuck Total Divas and just fuck reality TV in general. We got the Wyatt family versus the Dudley Boys and Ryback in a 6-man tag team match. I was not paying attention to this whatsoever. Just the same matches over and over and over again with little purpose to them. Of course, the Wyatt family will get a bigger moment later on tonight, which I'll get to later on, but they ended up beating Ryback and the Dudley Boys, and just a dull match. I couldn't give a shit. The first hour of Raw was just boring as fuck, man. I could not get invested to it. But, it gets better because we got the Big Show versus Heath Slater. Jesus Christ. This show just keeps going down and down and down, man. Big Show wins because, that's what we're going to see in a shit match against Heath Slater. And then Adam Rose runs in. Big Show gives him a knockout punch. Same with Curtis Axel. Bo Dallas, he almost got caught, but he gets out of the ring, celebrates, does the victory lap. But then Big Show knocks him out at ringside. Build up new stars, my ass. We got Sheamus talking to Barrett and Del Rio when Stephanie walks up, and she commends them for holding in their tempers as Jericho, kind of took him out of the match. And Stephanie said that King Barrett won the King of the Ring and can beat anyone with the bullhammer, just pretty much suck their dicks pretty much. And one of them will become the world champion, so why not let Jericho scare them away? And Sheamus says they're not afraid of them anymore, and Stephanie says go on and prove it. So after that, we got a Vince McMahon and Stephanie segment to draw the number one entrant into the Royal Rumble match. And pretty much Vince grabs the ball, which he can't open. I don't know, Vince, You've got the arms of a fucking python. You've got like 24-inch pythons, brother. And you're not able to open up a ball. What the hell? But anyway, he opens it up and he finds out it is Roman Reigns. But he's like, it's probably just a coincidence. Roll again. He opens up another ball and it says Roman Reigns. Opens up a third ball, Roman Reigns. So obviously it was rigged as fuck. And Roman Reigns will be entering number one at the Royal Rumble, which I definitely suspected. I won't be surprised if he outlasts nearly everyone and makes it to the final two. So, yeah, that was a segment, pretty useless, whatever, and yeah. So then we get Tamina versus my girlfriend, Becky Lynch, and these two had a match. It was a match, it happened. Becky got the disarmer on her, she tapped out, and Charlotte was on commentary the entire night, with the entire match, with Ric Flair, and that Becky says nothing would mean more to her than winning the Divas title at the Rumble, and that she needs an answer, and it gets a response. Charlotte comes out with the microphone and says, you can't get a free title match, I've already given you the opportunity, back to the line, Junior. And then Becky says she's lost because her father helped, and that Charlotte's like, but he's a two-time Hall of Famer. And then Becky fires back with saying Ric Flair never backed down from a challenge, but maybe he's gotten soft in his old age. And then Flair's like, what, mate? And that third time will be the charm. Charlotte will beat her this Sunday at Rumble. Flair walks off and Charlotte's not happy at all. So I like that dynamic with Charlotte and Becky Lynch. This is hands down the best feud that's been built up to the Rumble. I like how Ric Flair, his ego getting in the way of, her daughter, and pretty much saying, you know what, my daughter can kick your ass at the Royal Rumble, and Becky Lynch getting her way. So next up, I believe we've got Dean Ambrose and Kalisto versus Sheamus and Alberto Del Rio, so the League of Nations. Kevin Owens is on commentary, which is always great. And these two have a pretty decent match. Sheamus and Del Rio, however, won. And there was a cool moment where Del Rio did an Insurugi, or however the fuck you pronounce it, where on the announce table, no one popped for that. And I'm like, that's pretty fucking cool. And they ended up getting the win, and Dean was on the ground, he's still selling the move, and Kevin Owens just comes over him and taunts him for their last man standing match, which should be a cracker of a match. So then we get a backstage segment of earlier in the day, the New Day having their funeral for Francesca the Trombone. This was definitely one of the saddest moments in wrestling history. I was trying really hard not to cry during the segment. It was very emotional. Big E was giving his eulogy, and just, Kofi Kingston's just saying we'll get another trombone. Woods didn't want it, and that Francesca lives in Woods' heart, and they do a chant for Francesca. He was an absolute legend. The Francesca the Trombone, we will miss you. Thank you for everything you've done. Peace out, brother. But next up, we have Jey Uso versus Big E in our final match of the night. Nothing really amazing. No, this wasn't the final match of the night. Nothing amazing here. Just Big E ended up getting the win in a kind of match that happened. So next up we get our actual final match in the night, but I don't really call this a main event. So it is Stardust, The Ascension, and Tyler Breeze versus Titus O'Neil, R-Truth, Mark Henry, and Neville. This is pretty much all of the lower mid-card guys going at it for no fucking reason other than, hey, they're all in the Rumble. In a nothing match, the baby faces pick up the win. Neville does his Red Arrow, which is always amazing to see, and yeah, sick. So then we get to our main event segment, which is a highlight reel hosted by Chris Jericho with guests Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Paul Heyman comes in and does his typical stuff, and Jericho and Heyman, they have a good promo with each other. Make sure to go check that out. It's probably on YouTube somewhere. And then Jericho, I think, said to Heyman something. It's like, what if it came down to him and Lesnar as the final two in the Rumble? And what happens if he threw Lesnar over the top rope, wins the Rumble, walks out 7-time world champion? And Paul puts his face in his hands. And I think that was, I believe that was Jericho. Lesnar came out and he circles the ring. Roman Reigns comes out. And it's pretty much those three guys just staring each other down. And it looks like they're going to have a fight in the ring. But they do for a little bit. And then the League of Nations comes out and they try to beat up everybody. But they ended up eliminating all of them. But then the White family came out, which was really interesting. And they kicked the shit out of everyone. Roman's out of it. And they beat the shit out of Brock Lesnar. And it was really weird, man, just to see them, just tear down Lesnar that way. And the White family haven't exactly been booked really well the last few weeks. And, they had decent matches with the Dudley Boys, of course, earlier in the night, which wasn't incredible. But the fact that they ended the show was really cool, in my opinion. It's going to be interesting to see how they factor into the Royal Rumble. Will Bray win? Probably not. But I expect him to be one of the final competitors, or one of the big, competitors in that Royal Rumble match. So it's going to be interesting what they see in the Rumble. If you want my full thoughts on what they think is going to happen at the Royal Rumble, make sure to check out my predictions video coming in the next week. And this Raw was it was a dull Raw and nothing to freak out over. So this is going to be it for this review. I hope you have enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like if you did. Comment down below what you thought of this week's Raw. Are you excited for the Royal Rumble? Make sure to let me know. If you want to hear more from me, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Probably some more Lego Star Wars and 2K16 videos in the near future. And my Twitter and Instagram's at JackamanLove31. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. And I am out in 3, 2, 1.